Nakadilo kayo. There.
We invite everyone to please stand for the invocation. Let us bow our heads and place ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Dear Heavenly Father, we give you praise, honor, and glory. We thank you for the gift of life and countless blessings, opportunities, and favors. We thank you for gathering us today in this important event. May you bestow your guidance and blessing so that we can enjoy and appreciate its significance in our lives. Bless everyone present today and grant us good health and safety. May all activities or projects related to this event be a success through your intervention. We ask all of this in your name. Amen. Manatili po tayo nakatayo para sa Philippine National Anthem.
Alright. Good morning to all po. Isang maginhawang araw po sa inyong lahat. Isang maginhawang at araw po sa inyong lahat. So, a pleasant morning to all. I am honored to welcome you to the unveiling of Maynilad's Central Manila Sewerage System Rehabilitation Project. My name is Ivan Zar Perez, and I will be your host for this morning. So, we are all going through extraordinary challenges days due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Events such as today's facility unveiling reminds us that there is a way to survive the new normal, and that vital operations must continue whatever situation may be. We are gathered today to formally unveil Maynilad's newest undertaking in the area of wastewater management. This initiative puts us a step closer towards the goal of achieving full sewerage coverage in the West Zone. Just a brief background po, ang Central Manila Sewerage System or CMSS ay unang ginawa noong taong 1904. Ayan, wala po siguro sa atin pa dito na pinanganak na ang panahon na yun. Ayan, dahil mahalaga ang sewerage system po na ito, sa ating environmental protection mandate, minabuti po ng Maynilad pamunuhan para sa rehabilitation na ito. We have our partners to thank for their help in making this project possible. I refer to the City of Manila, the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System, and our project contractors, AC Mohares Construction Incorporated, JP Builders Incorporated, and MJMI Construction and Trading Incorporated. So before we proceed, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of our special guests. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources Assistant Secretary Daniel Darius Giselle, Manila Mayor Government Francisco Isko Moreno Domagoso. We also acknowledge the presence of MWSS officials who have graciously joined us today. MWSS Administrator General Manuel Salamat. And of course, our event would not be possible without our valued contractors, represented today by their project managers, Mr. Mark Salvador, Mark Glendale, and Mr. Sherwin Ilan. We also welcome some of Maynilad's top management team members, President and Chief Executive Officer Romancito S. Fernandez, Chief Operating Officer Randolph P. Estrellado, Program Management Division Head Engineer Yolanda C. Lucas, and Wastewater Management Division Head Engineer Apollo C. Iglao, and Corporate Quality, Environment and Safety and Health Division Head Sir Real Spiritu. So ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat po lahat sa pagpunta. Thank you all for coming. So to officially welcome us all here today, may I please call on Maynilad's President and CEO, Mr. Romancito S. Fernandez.
Honorable Mayor Isko Moreno, Asset Secretary Daniel Giselle, MWSS Admin General Salamat, our contractors AC Mohares, JK Builders, MJMI Construction and Trading, mga kasamahan ko sa Maynilad, lalo na yung very involved dito sa ating project, mga kasamahan natin sa project management at saka sa wastewater management. Maginhawang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay nagagalak na i-welcome kayo lahat ngayon sa ating event. Despite the threats of COVID-19, we are all here and gathered following the safety protocols. And it just shows to us that this event is a very important event for Maynilad towards its journey in achieving 100% sewerage coverage. Simulan po natin with this event ang ating rehabilitation works ng Central Manila Sewerage System or CMSS. Ito po ay nilatag noong 1904. And definitely, ito pong network na ito ay ang pinakamatanda, pinakalumang network sa buong Pilipinas. Sakop ng proyekting ito ang rehabilitasyon ng mahigit sa 10 kilometers of sewerage pipe network na sakop ang 30 barangays ng Malate at Santa Cruz. Komplikado po itong trabaho na to kasi po ay papalitan po ng ating mga contractors ng kasamahan natin sa Maynilad ang certain parts of the network with new and bigger size capacity pipes. Hindi po biro ang trabaho na ito. At marahil mararamdaman po ng constituents ng ating mayor ang magiging epekto sa traffic. So hinihiling po namin ng suporta ninyo na pag-unawa, lalong-lalo na sa komunidad ng lungsod ng Maynila. Rest assured, gagawin po namin ang lahat para mabawasan ang inconvenience na maidudulot ng aming aktibidad. Konting tiis lang po ngayon dahil kapalit nito ay malinis na kapaligiran sa mga susunod na taon. Alam po natin na habang dumadami ang households at commercial establishments sa lungsod ng Maynila, lalong-lalo na sa agresibong promotion ng ating mayor, lumaki at lalaki pa ang wastewater sewerage na idudulot ng mga komunidad dito sa loob ng Maynila. So napakalaga po ng rehabilitasyon na to kasi lalaki po ang kapasidad ng ating sewer network para masalo ang wastewater na demand na dinudulot ng itong mga komunidad na sila. Malaki po ang papel ng proyekting ito sa ating pare-parehong hangarin na babawasan ang pollution load ng Manila Bay. Sa kasalukuyan po, ang Maynilad ay nagtatayo ng 6 na planta as we speak sa Valenzuela, sa Kupang, sa Tunasan sa Muntinlupa, sa Camana, at sa South Bay sa South. Kasama na rin po rito yung Las Piñas. These projects are part of Maynilad's long-term waste management program, which seeks to protect the community, health, and the environment through the proper treatment of effluents. To date, ang Maynilad po ay nakapag-invest na po ng 41 billion pesos para sa patuloy na expansion at improvement ng wastewater infrastructure. Nakapagdagdag na po ang Maynilad ng 21 additional wastewater treatment plants simula po nang nag-take over ang Maynilad. Handa po kami pagpatuloy ang aming investments hanggang makaabot sa 100% sewerage coverage sa West Zone. Hindi po namin magagawa ang lahat ng ito na wala ang tulong ninyo. Maynilad's accomplishments thus far is no small part, but due to the support that you have extended to us in these years, we are very grateful for all of this. Maraming salamat po, Mayor Isko, sa DNR, maraming salamat po sa tulong ninyo. Sana po ay patuloy ninyong suportahan kami sa hangarin na patuloy na malinis ang Manila Bay at ang ating kapaligiran. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, Sir Mon, for the message. So, truly, Maynilad's sustained investment in wastewater infrastructure is proof of our strong commitment to protecting the environment and the health of our customers. So, we have with us today also the man in charge of environmental protection initiatives in the country. Maynilad works very closely with the agency leads, and we are very glad that he will make it. So please also give a warm welcome to DNR asset, Daniel Michel.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Pwede na ako siguro magtanggal ng mask kasi iba-iba naman yung microphone natin. Malayo naman tayo. Magandang umaga po, Mayor Isko. It's always a privilege to be in the same event with a celebrity, political celebrity. To President Mad Fernandez, thank you for inviting us. Ako po yung nandito ngayon. Napag-utusan po ako ni Kuya Benny Antiporta, ang paborito ngayon ng kritiko ng administrasyon at ng media, para i-represent po si Secretary Royce Mato. Siguro, to put in context yung ginagawa natin ngayon, kahapon po, 7 a.m., kasama po namin si Chief Justice Diosdado Peralta. Dito po kami sa Baywalk. Nag-meeting na po kami. Present po namin ang direksyon ng rehabilitation ng Manila Bay. At hindi pwedeng sabihin, may media ba dito? Wala naman ako. Hindi pwedeng isiwalat ang kanyang mga sinabi, pero very encouraging po sa amin sa department. At nakita natin yung suporta ng ating kagalang-galang ni Chief Justice sa direksyon ng ating Manila Bay Rehabilitation. Of course, the rehabilitation of the central sewerage system of Manila is a product of a long line of events since the privatization of the operations aspect of MWSS. So this has been laid down by previous administrations, and now we are seeing the fruition of the vision and the plans of the previous leaders, no? From the time of President Ramos. Ito na po yun. Napapadali lang because of our Manila Bay Rehabilitation, dubbed as Battle for Manila Bay. Nakita namin ang inyong plano, Maynilad, being in charge of this area of the West Zone. We are glad you have the plans and you are proceeding according to those plans. And you have spent 41 billion already, including this. No? So, ang magagawa lang namin siguro is to push you further to make things faster and if better, make it more responsive to our current needs in the rehabilitation of Manila Bay. Thank you for the Liberisa project. Thank you for your patience. No? Kinulit-kulit namin kayo because that was the priority waterway of our secretary, yung Estero Diapan. And let me inform you that the STP that we placed there, which is a capacity of 2 million MLD, is already operational, but not yet fully operational because we are still calibrating the system. Hindi pa siya perfect. But we are glad to inform you that as of the latest data, the output of the STP taking in water from Estero de Abad and the other two outfalls, Mayor, from 3.5 million fecal coliform, ang lumalabas na po sa STP ay 49, which is way above the 200 MPN standard of the DENR. So pasadong-pasado siya. So we just need to stabilize the system, and then for sure the yacht club area and the baywalk will be cleaned. But that's just the last line of defense. The first line of defense is still the sewerage system, which are your responsibility. So we are glad that you are finally inaugurating this. For years, since we started the rehabilitation of Manila Bay, we have been talking about this 1904 system. Alam nyo ba, 1904 system to, which is almost at par with the standards then of Europe and the United States. If you look at the history of Europe and the US, their sewerage system came in place maybe just a few years or a few decades before 1904. So halos sabay lang tayo at that time. Our standards for our urban development then was almost at par with the Western countries. But when the war came, and then the interim difficulties of the developing world during the oil crisis, etc., napag-iwanan yung infrastructure natin. Now, 100 years later, from 1904, more than 100 years, we're seeing that we're catching up. Economically, we're seeing the same thing. Diba? Nag-crash yung economy natin. But now, our growth rate is almost a throwback to the post-war period. So the acceleration of the country right after the war is the same now, if not better, ngayon. So we're at the sweet spot in terms of economic growth and social development. So this is the perfect timing for you as a business to partner with the local government and the national government to push this country forward. If you're not yet aware, we have to be aware that 2045 we have targeted is as the year for the Ambition Philippines, no? Ambition natin, where we committed as a government to eradicate poverty by 2045 or 2040. Given the data, our statistics, it's highly probable that we will achieve those goals of providing decent livelihood, housing, health services, recreation, social networks for our people. Para na siyang first world status by 2045, if not a real first world status. Okay. For a long time, we have been suffering setbacks as a country, but now we are surging forward. Siguro nagugulat yung mga tao with these initiatives. Nung nilagay natin yung Dolomite Beach, yung white sand doon, it's so outrageous, no? But it's been done in the first world for decades and decades. 1960s, even 1950s, even 1920s, ginagawa na yung Dolomite beaches sa United States to attract tourism and to protect property. So, the Dolomite sand that we put in there also helps to protect the commercial and properties along Baywalk. A sand that is put there will serve as an additional barrier against storm surges and strong waves. So hopefully, it will help protect yung Ross Boulevard against flooding in the future. So, hindi ito dapat kinakagulat ng mga tao. But because of the negativity that we have been experiencing for decades and decades, yung utak ng mga tao napaka-negative. When they see something positive, parang hindi nila matanggap, no, as a reality. So this is now the time that we recast ourselves, our vision, and our realization of what we can do as a nation. Nung in-start natin yung rehabilitation ng Boracay, walang naniniwala, successful. And now it's a success. Lalong-lalo na Manila Bay. Manila Bay is 1,000 times more difficult than Boracay. At nakita nyo naman, from sa US Embassy, no? Yung mga outfall natin dyan sa Baywalk. From billions, hundreds of millions. I remember before we started the rehabilitation of Manila Bay, we had a 1 or 300 million fecal coliform doon sa US Embassy. Our latest reading is 9,000. That's 99.99% reduction in fecal coliform doon sa US Embassy. Doon sa Manila Yacht Club, 1.3 billion. As of yesterday, a few weeks ago, 49. That's 99.999999 reduction of fecal coliform. We're seeing the water getting clear. Tinanggal natin yung silt sa ilalim. Mga bura, kung ano-ano, basura, mga gulong, mga plastic. With the help of DPWH and MMDA. So you can see yung mga tilapia dan dati, bago tayo nag-start ng rehabilitation ng Manila Bay, 2018, inutusan ako ni Secretary Sumato, you study Manila Bay. Because I have a scientific background, I'm a scientist and at the same time a lawyer. Umiikot ako dyan, may maliliit yung tilapia noong 2018. Ngayon, yung tilapia malalaki na. Malalaki na yung tilapia. Tumami at saka nagsilakihan na. We base our actions on evidence and careful analysis of the situation. Yun yung trademark ni Secretary Simado. Sinabi niya, ano yung priority natin? Ito, Baywalk, Manila. Aside from dito, maraming tao, dito yung pinakamataas ang coliform count. At saka, perhaps the most important thing, Baywalk is Manila Bay. Manila Bay is Baywalk. It is the face of the country. Manila is known for its sunset and Baywalk is it. So yan yung naging priority natin. At hindi na nalalaman ng maraming tao, yung coliform, hindi naman nagsusurvive ng matagal yan sa dagat. In fact, even before the rehabilitation, kung kukuha ng sample sa gitna ng Manila Bay, malinis. So yung coliform count mo, yung pollution, dito lang sa gilid. So you address the source, dito sa gilid, ma-achieve mo yung seemingly impossible to achieve, which is to improve the water quality of Manila Bay to the standard of the DNR, which is 200 MPN, 200 fecal coliform MPN. Akala ng mga tao impossible. No, it's possible. We are doing it based on science. Kaya natin nilagay yung STP dyan. At ilalagay niyo yung STP, yung improvement ng sewer system natin dito sa Central. Ma-achieve na natin ang SP standard na water quality ng Manila Bay. Napapansin nyo, siguro pati si Yorme napapansin nyo, hindi na mabaho yung, yung dagat ngayon. At ang timeline ni Secretary Simato, siguro to put things in perspective, is hopefully by the end of the year, matapos natin yung rehabilitation ng Baywalk. So we hopefully matapos natin yung beach nourishment by December. Masaraduan natin yung mga outfall at fully functional ang ating STP by that time. And we will have readings of below 200 MPN of fecal coliform. So nakikita na natin, yung vision natin mukhang ma-achieve na. Naaamoy na natin ang tagumpay para sa Manila Bay Rehabilitation. Mahirap magyabang, pero based on data, doon po tayo patungo, and we pray to God that we will achieve a miracle for Manila Bay. Thank you very much sa support ni Mayor Isko ng ating LGU sa rehabilitation ng Manila Bay. We support each other. We give you our full support for your projects for the cleanup of Manila Bay, and we thank you for giving us also your full support. finally, and also to Maynilad, thank you for accommodating our requests. And finally, let me emphasize, one crucial element of rehabilitation in Manila Bay is the behavioral and psychological aspect. Nandiyan naman yung mga batas clean water, solid waste management, nandiyan lahat yan. Pero bakit marumi ang ilog? Bakit marumi yung Manila Bay? Ang mindset ng tao, attitude, behavior, is not to protect the Manila Bay and the water bodies. Nandiyan ang batas pero nagbabiolate ang mga tao. Wala akong pakialam. The Dolomite sand is symbolic of a new start, of having a vision for a pristine and clean Manila Bay. Di ba pag puti, malinis? So doon po tayo patungo sa isang malinis na Manila Bay. At sana yung ating mga establishments dito, and we hope Maynilad will help us make them comply. To connect to your lines, and kay Mayor, yung mga kailangan huliin po natin. Kasi po kung minsan, maski sinasabi nila, at nakikita man natin na kukumply, pagtalikod natin, magtatapon uli sila ng dumi doon. Pero pag nakita nila yung white sand, siguro naman makukonsensya na sila na tumihan yung white sand. Yun po yun. Maraming salamat po. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
Alright. Maraming salamat po, Asik, sir. So, tama po talaga, nasa mindset po talaga ng mga tao nagsisimula ang magbabago. Yeah, thank you, Asik, for joining us this event and for your continued support in our Manila Bay Rehabilitation process. So, on to the next speaker naman po. So, the CMSS Rehabilitation Project aims to significantly expand sewerage coverage in the west zone of Metro Manila. Para sa kapusan po natin ma-appreciate ang kahalagahan ng inisyatibong ito, pakinggan naman po natin ang mensahe ni MWSS Administrator, General Manuel Salamat.
Mic test. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Honorable Mayor Isko Moreno. Magandang umaga po. My first time to meet you. Of course, Asik Daniel Nasser and representative of the good secretary, Secretary Sabato, of course, and the good friend ng MWSS, and happy to work with, and my honor to work with the concessionaire, Sherman Fernandez. It's really my privilege to be designated as the MWSS administrator and work with the two concessionaires. Napakahirap po ng trabaho natin dahil we have a lot of concern. To put in context po yung on the part of MWSS, ang focus natin is ma-accomplish namin yung mission namin ng effective and efficient. That is to develop, operate, and maintain yung looking back to our charter. Kasi parang we are going far away from our charter na. So, binabalik ko na yung context ng MWSS ngayon. To look back to the charter, that is to develop, maintain, and operate water work system in order to have to ensure sustainable water supply, adequate and uninterruptible, and effective management of our sanitary services. So, gusto ko rin pong sana to redirect yung attention ng MWSS to in connection dito sa mga ginagawa natin ngayon. Kasi dati is satisfaction of our stakeholders, but now I want to have a bigger perspective po sana ng outcome, that is not only sustainable water supply, access of water by every home in Metro Manila or in the service area, but of course a safe and clean waterways and environment natin. So dapat kasama yun sa outcome ng MWSS. In the context naman po ng water security program, to put it also in proper perspective, we are looking at the sana we go to direction of really improving our water security scores. Pag sinabi natin water security scores for a livable city like Metro Manila, gusto ko lang isahin po yung data nandito, no? Kasi pag sinabi nating livable city, we are looking at the adequate water supply, yung ating efficient wastewater collection, flood management, and the health of our river basin. So according to the Philippine National Water Security Score natin, we are about 40.4 out of 100. So with that much, what much is to be need to be done for the security, for the country to become water secure, or for the Metro Manila to become water secure. Malaki po ang kailangan natin gawin pa. So along that line, na napaka-important yung ginagawa ng MWSS ng Maynilad ngayon in improving our sewerage system. So I highly commend yung Maynilad for yung commitment ninyo in as one of the mandamos agencies in the rehabilitation of the Manila Bay. So this manifests your commitment in that project and accountability natin in the environment. So to everyone, magandang pong umaga and thank you for inviting me, Sir Mon. Thank you po.
Thank you very much. Jen, salamat. So, maraming salamat po. So, asahan niyo po yung sumwala po yung Maynilad sa mga project po natin sa West Road. Yeah. So, alright. I know that we all have been waiting to listen for this beloved mayor of Manila, whom we fondly call your men. So, bigyan po natin ng masigapong
Tess, thank you sa ating tagapagpakilala. Sa ating pong Secretary Roy Simatu ng DNR being represented today, DNR Assistant Secretary Daniel Darius Nasser, to the Administrator of Metropolitan Waterworks Sewerage System Administrator General Emmanuel P. Salamat. Maraming salamat. To the President and CEO Mon Fernandez of Maynilad and to the Maynilad family at sa lahat ng iba pang bisita, sa mga contractors na nandito, magandang umaga sa inyo. Una, maraming salamat. Maraming salamat sapagkat kayo na sa pribadong sektor ay nakikiayon sa mga layunin nowadays ng pamahalaan, nasyonal at lokal. Isa sa aking mga pangarap, o namin mga pangarap, ay magkaroon ng mapayapa, panatag at maliwalas na Maynila. At pag pinag-uusapan ng kaaliwasan o maliwalas, pinag-uusapan ay kapaligiran. As you all know, or this aside, since day 1 of July 1, we started with our streets, trying to eradicate obstructions or unnecessary structure na maibalik ang kalsada at bangketa sa mamamayan at mabawasan ng mga kumakalat na solid materials o solid waste materials. Salamat. Sa ating mga kalsada. Then, we continue we did not stop. It's been ongoing. It's a long battle. Katulad ng sinabi ni Asek Salamat, we have to change the mindset of our people. Sapagkat nagkaroon ng pagbabagong sa tingin ko hindi natatamang pagkakaunawa o kaisipan ang mga mamamayan, lalo na yung mamamayang medyo bata pa, sapagkat ang nakita nila ay yung mali ay naging tama, na maling naging tama, naging normal. That's why we went back to basic governance. Na gawin lang yung lumang tama, yung tamang tama, na maging responsableng individual o mamamayan o pamahalaan sa kanyang kapaligiran. Then we went further. Thanks to DNR, our partner, in putting up more open green space in our city. And when we were audited with our small effort for the last 1 year, from July 1, by a machine donated to us by DNR, what we call AQM, air quality machine. When it was first turned on, we were very afraid that we might not achieve what we're trying to give for the next generation. Clean air. Air is universal, and there is no science that will cure the air, only by nature, by putting up more trees and open green space. Bukod sa kami, kinuwenta na ng DNR that in less than 1 year, we have accumulated 30 hectares, made it available to the general public of open green space. And when it was turned on, malugod ako nagpapasalamat sa aking mga kapwa-kawani ng pamahalaang Luzon, flying colors ang air quality sa pinakamaruming hangin na inyong mahihigo sa gitna ng Loton. Because Loton is like EDSA, the artery of the West and East and Southeast vehicular traffic. Yan ang access. Then again, in line with today's program, the unveiling of sewerage system, the new development sewerage system. In our own little way, your city government tried and been doing since day one. And in fact, as we speak today, we guarantee you that there are people, our employees, dedicated employees, we call them Estero Rangers. For them to pick every single day solid waste materials in the body of water. And recently, international organization, 2 of them, awarded the city of Manila and our team because we have accumulated and gathered 5.8 million of solid waste material in the body of water alone in 1 year. So it is a continuous effort. Kung kayo'y gusto natin malinis ang Manila Bay, marami siyang bagay-bagay na dapat nagawin. The presence of solid matters and the one that only microscope can see, which is yung ginawa naman ng DNR to put an end na dagdagan. Pinaganda lang ni Asek Salamat sa salitang Ingles ang kanyang ginamit. para di na madagdagan ng etsas ang Manila Bay. Dahil yun ang pinakamalaking inodoro ng buong Manila Bay. And let me remind you, while we're talking of the word Manila and Bay, it is not only Manila. DNR is just starting. This is just a good start within the cove of Manila Bay. Kaya malugod kami at nagpapasalamat. Totoo po yun. In fact, I requested to put up a water quality monitoring machine. And DNR, he did. They put 3. One in Pasig River, one in Baseco, and one in Ross Boulevard. Para ma-audit namin ang aming mga sarili. Para katulad ng sinabi ni Asik, salamat, we only address facts. We only state facts, not impression, not opinion. Facts coming from right agency na talaga para magsiyasat sa mga bagay na yun. Kaya natutuwa kami sa Maynilad. Nadagdagan na naman ng programa o effort na magkaroon ng malinis na tubig galing sa mga inidoro para sa kaunawaan ng regular na tao. Ayoko maging parang morbid, baka hindi pa kayo kumakain. But I just wanted to share it the way the people should and may understand. Na mga duming tubig na galing sa ating mga bahay ay bagong lumabas sa body of waters like Pasig River, Manila Bay, and the creeks of Manila, which the nature is so generous that provided us so many body of water naturally with our creeks all over the city of Manila. In fact, in the other side of the world, those body of waters are assets. In our case, it became a problem for so many reasons. But today is a testament of the commitment of the national government, local government, and the private sector working hand in hand and to confront it. Address it. How far can we go? We don't know. But we have to start somewhere. The way the DNR did it in Manila Bay, portion of Manila, the way in our own little way, within our capacity to continue to support them in all other efforts and our daily efforts, and today with the private sector, Maynilad, magkaroon ng malinis sa tubig paglabas sa mga tubo. Narinig ninyo? Isa sa pinakamatanda, nabanggit kanina ni Mon, na sewerage system ay ang lungsod ng Maynila. In fact, it's an asset. It is a testimony that we Manilans are first to develop. Nung araw talaga, yayamanin ang Maynila. In fact, I've been seeing some sewerage system na tisa pa. So, with that, no, nakaligtaan lang, napabayaan lang. But, sabi nga, kung ang pamahalaan ay nadapa, pwede namang bumangon ulit. Itama ang mali. At gawin ang tama. At totoo din, nabanggit ni Mon kanina, sa mga kababayan ko na nandito, hinihingi ko ang inyong pangunawa. In fact, ang dami kong pinirmahan na permiso. Pinagsabay-sabay ko nga. Gusto ko tirahin nila lahat para isahan na lang. isahan na lang ang sakripisyo nating mga batang Maynila. Dahil lahat ng sakripisyo na yan, yung mga anak natin makatitikim din ng ginhawa pagdating ng araw patungkol sa pangangalaga sa ating kapaligiran. Kaya nananawagan ako ng pasensya, habaan natin ng pangunawa, at pangalawang panawagan ko sa mga kababayan natin, kumikilos ang national government, kumikilos ang local government, kumikilos ang private sector. Siguro naman, sapat na ang panahon na hindi natin masyadong pinansin ang mga bagay na ito. Ikinipit palikat na lang natin. Pero sapat na siguro mga panahon na yun na maging responsable naman tayong individual. We need to be responsible. We have to. Nobody will do it for us. No matter what efforts that you're going to do DNR, you're going to do MWSS, you're going to do Maynilad, and whatever we're going to do, lahat yan mauuwi sa imbornal. Kapag patuloy na hindi nagbago ang ating pananaw bilang individual, bilang mamamayan na pagmalasakitan ang ating sarili, ang ating kapwa, ang ating kapaligiran. Makapagpamana man lang man tayo ng maliwalas na lungsod ng Maynila. We cannot do it alone. People should participate. People should cooperate. And people should be responsible also sa ating komunidad. So muli, this is just the beginning of good things to come. And if I may say, sabi nga, sa tagal-tagal ng kadugyutan ng Maynila, sa tagal-tagal ng kalibagan ng Maynila, sa tagal-tagal ng anggo, kwento nga ni salamat, ibang amoy ng Maynila. Sabi nga ani Asep ni Sir, sabi nga sa salitang Ingles, at inaalay ko rin, sinishare ko rin yung kasabihang ito. Good things come for those who wait. We've waited for long, so long, patiently. But I think it's high time for us to address this centimeter by centimeter, inches by inches, meter by meter, kilometer by kilometer. We must pursue. We must do. We must aspire for a better Manila. So maraming salamat sa Maynilad family. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for heeding the call of the President, the Department, and your city government. Rest assured, in the coming days, in the coming months of this continuous development, you have a friend in the city. We'll be there. We will support you. No harm will come to you. You have the full support of the people of Manila. Muli, bago ko matapos, gusto ko lang ipaalala, may COVID-19 pa. May COVID-19 pa, but we continue, like what we're doing today. We must continue, but let me remind you, there is still danger, but this danger can be managed. Okay? So, it's just a gentle reminder when you're in Manila or anywhere else. But I can only speak for our city. Please wear mask. If you can afford it, wear face shield. Wash your hands. and practice physical and social distancing. In return of you doing those things, kami naman sa pamahalang Luzon, susuklian ko yan. Kami magiging mainam, masinop at episyenteng paglingkuran kayo ng tapat ng inyong pamahalang lungsod ng Manila. So mag-ingat po kayo. Mag-ingat kayo, lalo na yung mga construction workers, ha? Pag-ingatin nyo sila. Kailangan sila ng mga pagawaing bayan, pribado man o pamahalaan. Magandang umaga, and I hope God may continue to guide and bless each and every one. May awa ang Diyos, makakaraos din tayo. Maraming salamat po. Manila, God first. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful message, Starter. So you can really trust Manila that we are one with you in the Manila City in promoting the welfare of Manileños. So now, we come to the highlight of this morning's program, which is the signing of the commitment wall to signify our joint objective in protecting the environment. So may we please call on Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, Asay Daniel Mizel, MWSS admin Jen Salamat, and Maynilad's President and CEO Sito Fernandez to walk over to our commitment wall. They will each affix their names on the wall as a symbol of their full support for the mission of rehabilitating Manila Bay. In the interest of safety, we would like to remind everyone to please always observe physical distancing. Okay, so another photo beside our commitment wall.
Decide po the commitment wall.
May you please ask yourself to stand beside our commitment wall for another photo.
Yes po. Saka yun sa
Okay, after this one, we will proceed to another photo of class. We would like to invite our special guests to stand beside our welcome ground units or our VDUs, which we use for our sanitation and septic tank cleaning services. We offer sanitation service every 5 to 7 years at no additional cost to our residential and semi-business customers in unserved areas. After the photo ops, please enjoy the brand new refreshments that we have prepared. Thank you all for joining in this morning's program. Let us all stay safe and healthy.
Magtayo doon ng sidang ngayon para ano. Dito tayo. Sakto na yan.